Ladies and gentlemen, caballeros, 49er faithful throughout the multiverse, welcome to Gary Lamm Main Event Mania. Goodbye, Jimmy Edition.
My name's Gary Lamm. I'm a macho.
Jimmy G, thank you for the memories.
And make it say,
Oh yeah. Gary Lamm, Main Event Maniacs. Thank you for joining me. We have word. Jimmy Garoppolo. Looks like he's in the rear view. He's going to get traded. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the life and times of Pretty Jimmy on the San Francisco 49ers. But first, I want to just wrap up some loose ends on the NFC Championship game. Yeah, just in time for Valentine's Day, 49er faithful got our heart broken. But I want to address an issue. I'm hearing the C word, the CH word, choked. I don't think the 49ers choked at all. I think the 49ers displayed what they were all year. There was really about four issues. Number one, they didn't button it up. The 49ers did not play clean enough to be a Super Bowl team, but they improved. But besides that, that's the obvious. Jimmy G is limited and turnover prone. All right. He actually played well. This was his best playoff game of the 2021-22 playoffs. All right. Jimmy D did play well. 49ers don't have a top corner. I love Emmanuel Mosley. I think Ambry Thomas, I think he played hurt. He played pretty well. But it's been an issue. They banked on Jason Verrett, who's a fantastic player. But Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr. burned up the 49ers. We'll talk about that a little bit. And the same thing that's going on. Third topic. 49ers have no threat in the return game. When you are a defensive team, you want to use your quarterback as a game manager, and you want to rely on time management, you need a threat in the return game. You didn't have it, and you relied on Debo, who unfortunately got popped in the late in the second half, or can't remember. He didn't even go in the 10. That's another issue. But you don't, for a team like the 49ers who want to play ball control, you got to have more. You got to have more life in your return game. 49ers didn't have it, and all these issues, and the fact that they didn't have it buttoned up early in the season. They were 9-7. They were the 7th seed for a reason, because they didn't play clean ball. It all caught up with them. I don't think they choked out. There's no way that I'm going to say, I know Deebo Samuel's winning that game, beat up, battered. Jimmy Garoppolo, injured shoulder, messed up thumb. He played his heart out. He didn't, he played the best game he could. Trent Williams, he got a 300-pound man, a behemoth. I think he had a high ankle sprain. That's a 6 to 8 week injury. They're not complaining. It was all hands on deck. They gave it their best shot, and I just want to go over a couple of stats. The stats don't tell the whole story. But I do want to go over. Let me get these stats on here. Okay, come on, machine. It's against me right now. Look at these stats. The first half stats of the 49er game. But what I'm looking at the stats of the game, the Rams won in every statistical category. Okay? They outran the 49ers. They out-time possessed the 49ers. There's just no way you think the 49ers are going to win a game where they're outrushed And now Tima possessed. But yet they hung in there because they have guts. They stick together. And they just played to who they were. And it caught up. Let me just... Are we back on? Let's get this box score up there. Of course, technology fails me. You failed me, jabroni! Do your job! What I tell you right now? It's live. You're live, pal. Look at this machine here. F you, Skynet! Of course, he goes to the wrong one. Come on, machine. Of course, there's no chance it was user error. It's all the machine. Let's check out this box score. Come on now. Give me some stats. Okay. Total team stats. The Rams out-yarded the Niners 396 to 282. Passing yards 326 to 232. You know what? I have no problem with that. Stafford and Cup and Odell Beckham Jr. are going to get theirs. Rushing yards, 49ers 50, Rams 70. You just don't. The 49ers, they shouldn't even have been close. I mean, the 49ers play. How they had a first half lead just as a testament to who they are. Okay, as men. All right, and I'm the first one complaining. Button it up, guys. It's going to cost you. I'm not gonna call a bunch of guys who went out there 6 weeks on the road. What was it? 3? They won 6 in a row, and the whole playoffs was on the road, right? But look at first downs, 25-16 Rams. Actually, the Niners had more yards per play, but this is the one that's most telling. The first two most telling. Interceptions, 1 apiece, 1 turnover apiece. I'll take that. All right. Time of possession, 35 and 39 seconds for the Rams, 24 minutes, 21 seconds for the 49ers. And how they were in the game is a testament to who they are. All right. The Rams have gotten their tails whipped by the 49ers 6 times in a row. And it finally came back on the 49ers, where a team, they banked on the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to beat him over the top. And I'm going to read Jimmy's stats first. I'm not trying to destroy Jimmy on his way out. I appreciate you, Jimmy. But, I mean, it is what it is. Look at Jimmy's stats for this game. Come on, Skynet, let's work. Jimmy Garoppolo, 16 for 30. 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, and just a really bad-looking pick at the end. He almost held together. Look at the 49ers. We want them to run 40 times. You can't run 40 times when you... And the halftime deficit of time of possession was even worse. You can't run 40 times when the other team has the ball. It ain't going to happen. The Rams have Donald and Miller attacking Jimmy. And once the 49ers relinquished the lead, which was inevitable, the defense, what the 49ers want to do is let that ferocious pass rush with Nick Bosa and the other guys who do a good job. I'll address that too. I want to talk about what the 49ers need later. You got a tired pass rush. As good as Arden Key and Eric Armstead have been the last few weeks, Eric Armstead has to stay inside at tackle. When it comes down to it, you want to shut down Nick Bosa at the end of the game, and the Rams were able to make big plays on a tired defense that's been on the road for the whole playoffs, winning 6 straight, all banged up. Hey, life's hard. It was a miracle the 49ers had a 10-7 lead. All right, they played their hearts out, but the Rams. It was like an old fight. I remember it was Julio Cesar Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor, where the Rams were Chavez just hitting us in the body the whole match, and we just had one shot at the end. We got knocked out. We were hanging in there. We put our heart on the field, but everything caught up to us. We were seventh, and we were on the road for a reason because we made mistakes. Me and the faithful, us together. Me and Jed York are like. And I've been just not killing the secondary, but you know what? Ambry Thomas improved. The second, D'Amico Ryans improved. They closed the gap where they were deficient at corner. But I'm not gonna destroy the 49ers secondary on this one because look it comes to talent. They imagine the 49er defense if you had Jason Verrett and D Ford actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Maybe we're talking about the Super Bowl next week. But the guys they had did their best shot. Ambry Thomas had 10 tackles. They were beat. There just gets to be a point where talent and experience is going to beat you. All right, Ambry Thomas didn't play all last year in college. He really made strides at the end of the year, but he ain't no match for Cooper Kupp, bro. Odell Beckham, he finally hit his stride. It could have been worse. Those guys showed heart. And maybe Ambry's better next year. The 49ers did close the gap. But that's who we were. We knew that was going to happen. The 49ers still shut down the run. Only 70 yards. But we knew the secondary, it was going for anybody to stop Kupp. But the 49ers, you banked on Jason Verrett, which is a good player, but you knew he was injured. And you're already in this situation where you got two quarterbacks, which could have been a nightmare, by the way. The 49ers, it's easy to say they could pick up a free agent, but it's already week one. You're not going to get number one corner when the season starts. You kind of put a lot of salary cap in Jimmy Garoppolo. A lot of salary cap. It's $27 million. I think it's like top 5 in the league. All right. And you had one deficiency on defense. When there's a top receiver, they just can't guard him physically. They just physically cannot guard that guy. They schemed up the best they could. And the 49ers need to address it, and they can do it in two ways. One, if there is, and I do want to talk about the locker room. Before the 49ers, before you bring anyone in this locker room, you got to make sure they're a solid cat. Because this season could have been doomed. Imagine being Jimmy Garoppolo, or that's your boy. You've been through a lot. The 49ers are tight with Jimmy Garoppolo. They want to run it back. They had their chance to run it back, and I know a lot of the reason that and I like. I see that kid. Whoa, that guy's got an arm. Woo! That dude's bad. This could have been a nightmare. There could have been a locker room split. They were 3-5. They didn't split. They held together. You just can't bring anyone in here. You want. If the 49ers didn't have solid guys in the locker room, the season would have been dead. So you can't just bring in a guy that's a jerk. That's why, whatever reason, the 49ers like Josh Norman. To me, he gets beat deep, but you know what? The guys like him. They fight for each other. Okay? That's the magic. That's the 49er magic. All right? But after what they got themselves in they got themselves in that problem of with the penalties. And even in this game, the 49ers were out-penalized the Rams 6-10. All right? I wouldn't have been shocked if they would have won, but who they were kind of came back to bite them. And I'm not saying it's easy to guard Cooper. The Niners did an admirable job, but I don't think they choke. I just think they are who they were. Jaquaski Tart in 9 games, 0 picks. You know why? He can't catch. I like you, Jaquaski. Why do we got Hufanga? He's got a nose for the ball. Jaquaski Tart is good for you, not also a free agent. It was a tough one. Easy interception. But that's what in 80 career games, Jaquaski Tart has 4 interceptions. The 49ers are missing a playmaker in their secondary. They're solid guys. Mosley solid. Thomas he's good. He still doesn't know which way to run. The issue they got a lot better in the secondary, but after so many games, with their back against the wall, great job by the Rams overcoming the 49ers. First of all, their fans, overcoming 49er fans, and kind of kicking us in the teeth with a couple of long drives. All right. They didn't run the ball spectacularly, but they ran the ball, and I think the 49ers have to address this. The 49ers couldn't get off the field on third down. If you can't find a top corner, which is going to be hard to do without a top draft pick. If you can't find a guy who fits in that locker room, who's going to be a 49er, you can develop the guys you got, develop more young players, but you got to get another guy on the other side of Nick Bosa. I know Arden Key played well. The 49ers, Ekubon, what's that? Let me get the roster out here. They played a lot of guys played well, but there's no one, and I just want to bring up this stat because Nick Bosa played his heart out. Nothing could stop him this playoffs. But just going back to the Houston game, Nick Bosa was had a chance to lead the NFL in sacks. He was on a 2-game drought until to week 18 with the Rams. We got half a sack. It's because they just put all the attention on Nick. The 49ers have talent, but they need, at least in third down situations, they need a pass rusher that's a threat. They needed what D Ford should have been. Hey, he's hurt. Times are rough. Life's hard. But the way to address this secondary is they got to develop the guys they got. I like Ambry Thomas. If you can't find a top guy, there's no use paying a mid-level guy a bunch of money. Don't waste your money. Number one, don't waste your money. Spend your money wisely. Spend it on the top guys. All right. But even if it's for a third down pass rushing specialist, the Niners need another guy to take pressure off Nick Bosa. We got good talent. We have good talent. They're doing the best they can. I like the guy. Maybe that guy is on the roster, but we need someone with more reputation who can still get it done, at least on third down, to get off the field. Because what happened to the Niners, their pass rush, even with the rotation, they couldn't get to the quarterback in time because, Nick Bosa's he's only one man. You need another guy. You need another, whether it's a linebacker or a defensive end. You need it from the outside, and you need to keep. And the answer isn't Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead has played. He's improved since you put him in the middle of the field. It's easier to get stronger than faster. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have moves. He's a beast. Eric Armstead's a beast in the middle. The Niners shut down the run well. I think moving to the middle is a big key to the 49ers. But we need a more of a threat, like similar to what the Rams did. They already had Aaron Donald. They got Von Miller. They need a guy who's going to come up on the big occasion, all right? And speaking of, I'll talk about Jimmy leaving now. I want to remind you guys, all right? Jimmy's in the past, after the love is gone. We used to be wrong. All right, we gotta let go of Jimmy. All right, but remember, before I just break down what's really going on, 49ers in 2017, the year the 49ers acquired Jimmy Garoppolo, started 0-9. All right, losing a lot of close games. C.J. Beathard was getting knocked out. We had Brian Hoyer. See what was that gonna do? All right, and they made the trade for Jimmy G, for Pretty Jimmy. Niners ended the year 6-10. Well, it was looking up, and a lot of these guys were on that team. Eric Armstead was on that team. I posted this quote on my Instagram. Guys, don't forget that. And I want you to keep that in mind when people are saying, "Oh, maybe Trey Lance isn't ready." No, the rest of the team wasn't ready to let go. Any relationship you want, who was with you when you came up? Who are your people? It's loyalty. The 49ers were loyal to Jimmy Garoppolo. And I don't think it has as much to do with Trey Lance not being ready, because the 40 they like him. The situation could have been a disaster, okay? It's like a divorce where, you know what, the father and the stepdad, they're getting along because they love the kids. That went as well. The Jimmy Garoppolo Trey Lance situation went unless there's something we don't know, it went as well as it can possibly go. Both men credit. But for this team, the 2021 49ers, they wanted to run it back with Jimmy. Because of guys like Eric Armstead. Debo wasn't on the team, but Debo loves him. The 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, and I think it's more the team, they remember where they were 0-9. They were moving the ball, but they couldn't do it. And Jimmy, he was a hot shot Jimmy, throwing nice touchdowns. He was moving around the pocket. That was pre ACL. 2018 tears his ACL. 2019 completes the season. 49ers are in the Super Bowl. All right. The 2 seasons Jimmy's completed, 49ers went to the Super Bowl. And this year, NFC Championship game. But it ain't good enough for the Niners, and that's the bottom line. That's good. The 49ers, the faithful standard is exceptional. The standard is exceptional for the 49ers. Let's go over Jimmy's stats, though. Remember, 0-9, 2017 when we got Jimmy. He was there in the rough times. But you know what? You don't always marry your high school sweetheart. Or you know what? You may just be happy to have a high school sweetheart or anything. All right? When someone loves you when you're down, you may have never had it. That's a big deal. He came there, put on his big smile, hotshot Jimmy. He didn't look down on the 49ers coming from the Patriots. Hot job, Jimmy. Hot shot, Jimmy. He helped us become contenders. All right. Where's Jimmy's stats? Come on, Jimmy. Where your stats at? See this? The internet lets me down. All right, this year, Jimmy Garoppolo. 3,810 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, sacked 2019. Where 3,800 yards gets you, 12th in the NFL. All right? He was 17th in touchdowns. You got to get more touchdowns, Jim. All right? But it wasn't bad. He was toward the bottom of the league in getting sacked. And he threw 68%. He completed 68% of his passes, and this is a credit to him. He knows how to get the ball off to that first read. Good on you. That's something I wish Trey Lance can do. If Trey Lance could add that attribute, 49ers looking special. But here's the thing. The league caught up to Jimmy Garoppolo. you got quarterbacks with massive talent, and I'll put Matthew Stafford in that. Look at the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford has all-time arm talent. Okay, he's not but and he's got Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr., both who had over 100 yards against the Niners. And look at Joe Burrow. He's got Jamar. That Jamar Chase is phenomenal. He's just a rookie. You got Higgins and a bunch of weapons. Unfortunately, Jimmy, the NFL caught up. He never corrected his errors as far as getting his mechanics so he could throw an accurate deep ball. We don't even. When's the last time you saw Jimmy throw it deep? I know, and he came out there with a bad shoulder. God bless you, Jimmy. Thank you. Thanks, Jimmy. God bless you. Thanks, bro. But the league caught up. And when the 49ers, if they were in the situation, like it, or however if they blew 10 points or not, 49ers had 2 drives to make a comeback. And the Rams defense, they're very, very talented defense. The run ain't going to happen. The short passing game ain't going to happen. Jimmy, you got to get over the top of us or outside the numbers. And that is just not Jimmy's strength. The league caught up. He played a good game. Well, hey, think the defense was tired. The 49er defense was tired. No, hey, life's hard. But it just was what it was. The Rams controlled the time of possession. The 49ers have good pass rushers. But if you shut down Nick Bosa, hey, and you got the kind of receivers the Rams got who are shifty and you got Beckham and Kupp, man. And you don't got a number 1 cornerback. They don't have the second pass rusher. So it happened. Niners still could have won. But you put Jimmy G, who's been, like I said, he was 12th in yards. I mean, maybe he's 12th best quarterback. I don't know. I'll take him over a lot of guys. But, bro, there's times you got to make a play. All right, we could, and I do want to say this, too. If Debo couldn't make, he got knocked cold. He didn't go in the tent. All right? You're gonna run that guy up the middle on 4th and 2? Maybe the Niners should have went for it, okay? Maybe some bad decisions. But this is why the Niners do have to level up from Jimmy Garoppolo. Tom Brady would have said, F that! Am I going to run a play behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd and the season? Hell no! All right? Joe Montana, as much as Bill Walsh was a genius, I'm not going to run this crap. They're going to make a play. You got to. And Jimmy went out there. Messed up thumb. Messed up shoulder. He gutted it out. Lots of guts. Lots of heart. It ain't his thing to get. They took away everything that he does well. On top of, the Niners don't have the best offensive line. They're good. The Niners' strength is running the football. Rams took it away because they have super talent. Niners hung in. It was a battle of attrition. The body punches wore out the defense. They still put on a good show. It was time for Jimmy to make a play. The Niners ran it back. Jimmy had a good game until then. He had a good game for Jimmy. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. Whew. But if you're going to ask him to escape a dynamic pass rush, when the Rams have good secondary or good defensive line when they just had Aaron Donald and whoever, right? When you add Von Miller to that, you can ask him to get away from that and throw it deep. He just doesn't have that. He don't have that club in his bag. All right? He was Jimmy being Jimmy. And that's it. It's not a choke. It's just an indictment. It's just showing what the 49ers were. A team with a lot of heart, who really relied on one player a lot. I think Deebo Samuel, like I said, he should be MVP. But in my opinion, the biggest play of the game was when he got knocked cold. He was down. He didn't go in the tent. The NFL is shady on that. But if you're Kyle Shanahan, your bet. Elijah Mitchell's hurt too. You got your best offensive tackle, maybe the best lineman in the game. He's out there with a high ankle sprain. And you got the Rams offense kind of on a roll. He probably should have went for Kyle on 4th and 2. He probably should have went for it. But you know what? You playing behind you're gonna trust that? You got a banged up O line, or are you gonna trust your defense? When it comes down to it, players got to make a play, and that's where Jimmy is just not on. He's that grade down, right? And Jimmy, thanks, bro. I really appreciate who you are as a guy. But he's on that level down. He doesn't have it where this play sucks, Kyle. I'm calling my own play. Similar to where Alex Smith was. Like, hey, no, I'm calling my play. He's not that kind of guy. He's not that guy. But the 49ers, as a team, liked him. He played tough. There's a lot of reason to like him. A lot of reason to be thankful. But you got possibly his replacement on the roster. We'll never know. We'll never know if Trey Lance would have got him farther. But what we do know, and what it seems like, the 49ers have respect for Lance, the way he handled it, and the way this team stuck together in an adverse situation. That kind of got him to the dance, okay? I think, in my opinion, we'll never know. If there would have been one cancer when they were in 3-5, one cancer on the road, this whole thing would have fell apart. It did not. And that bodes good for next year. But the things that haunted the 49ers, like I said, Jimmy did well with the turnovers until the end, but his limitations as far as getting the ball over the top. Like the Rams finally figured it out. After 6 in a row. They finally figured out what to do with Jimmy. All right? It's solved. We played it out. It's not like when the 49ers went to Kaepernick over Alex Smith. So maybe Smith would have did it. Probably not. We'll never know. But the 49ers got everything he asked for. Jimmy Garoppolo, as far as his weapons, we can be better than Debo or Ayuk. We just can't depend on him to use those guys and get it to him outside the numbers. And we really don't know how good they are because he has that limitation. But I love them. I love Debo and Ayuk because they block. They act like football players. They hang in there. Kittle's a heck of a blocker. In other words, Jimmy had the weapons. All right, there's no excuses. The line is, as far as pass blocking, when the defense can pin their ears back and go for it like they could the last 2 possessions. That's not Jimmy's bag, like someone like a Trey Lance or a Josh Allen or even a Joe Burrow. They can get out and be more nimble outside the pocket. That's just not Jimmy's game, at least after the ACL. All right, but we maxed him out. We saw it. Thanks, Jimmy. Hopefully, maybe you can improve. Well, it's hard to say because it feels like his skill set fit the 49ers what they did. And you got your number one receiver going and running back, and I do have to say this for the 49ers. They went all the way. I don't think it's a fail. They went all the way to the NFC Championship game without their number one playmaker before Debo really kind of broke through even more than he already had. Raheem Mostert. They had no Raheem Mostert. They had no Jeff Wilson. Elijah Mitchell's a 6th-round draft pick. He's good. He runs tough. He's always getting hurt because he runs really hard. He runs right into people. I thought he was a speed guy, Mitchell. So, I mean, it's a team that did what they needed to do. And I do want to address this. When you got a team like this who is not going to score very much, there's no, besides Debo, which is a hell of a big play threat. And Kittle, they have to make the plays a lot on their own, like Debo and Kittle. There's not a lot of plays where it's, they get a chance to use their skills as a receiver. You're depending on some broken tackles and missed tackles, and it just wasn't going to happen. The Rams had a talented defense, and the 49ers were beat up and tired, in which they did on their own because they didn't play clean. I don't think there's any choking. I just don't think they have the kind of play. Jaquiski Tartt in 80 games, 4 picks, 0 picks this year. Should have caught the ball. He's a pro, but oh man, I feel I'm heartbroken for them, but I respect what they did. But you got to clean it up. We got to move on. We got to move forward. And one of the things I think they could address, the last thing that's still been the issue, it's having no threat in the return game. You're relying on Travis Benjamin? When's the last time he returned a kick? And then you already got Debo playing running back. Debo can make a play, but man, he was, when he had to return those kicks, he just wasn't quite right. All right, he wasn't quite right. And what am I going to take away from that guy? Was great. They needed to address this issue. The special teams did get a lot better. But when you get to the upper echelon, you need guys that make plays. And I think Trey Lance, right now he's about, he's like Jimmy and Kaepernick were, about the same with the upside. And I think Trey Lance has more of a reputation of playing it safe. If you're going to play it safe, hey, at least Lance has a threat for play action and a big play. And there's going to be, no matter how smart you are, there's no substitute for experience. We're going to have some growing pains. But at least there's a possibility, when you look at Trey Lance, that the guy you want as far as getting along with the team, as far as looking like a leader, taking accountability, is on the roster, and knowing how to come into a very challenging situation, not mess up the apple cart, and being a team player. When he does take the reins, the guys will respect him. Right? And he has experience earning respect. When he went to Dakota, similar situation. Right? Basically redshirted his first year, took over the team, never lost a damn game. That's it. The Niners didn't choke. They are who they were. Not enough playmakers in the defensive backfield. Just imagine this, though. They're not enough. They had enough pass rush, but they need another guy. You look at the Packers, they got three top-notch pass rushers. All right? 49ers have one. Eric Armstead he can get there, but he has no moves. His game is power. And despite his height, he does a great job of run stopping. But there's no one else that's going to give a defensive coordinator nightmares about, I got to block this guy. All right? Maybe that guy is on the roster on the 49ers. But if they cannot find there's no number one pick. if the 49ers don't see that they can't find a good value corner, hey, you pay the piper if you got a player, but don't pay a mediocre player, overpay him. They do got talent. I like Ambry Thomas. I like the kid from Oregon. I love Emmanuel Mosley, but you can help out. You can help out Nick Bosa with at least maybe a third down, maybe even a veteran pass rusher. This year is packed with free agents, so it's hard to go to them all. But you can help that out. You could while the plays you got grow with a real dominant pass rusher, like similar to what the Arizona Cardinals were with J.J. Watt. He got hurt, but a veteran like that, who's I'll take older, but we can't. 49ers can't get any more injury-prone players. But maybe a player that just rushes the pass. That's all they do. Someone to get them off the field on third down will be helpful. And they need a playmaker somewhere in that secondary. But I think the 49ers they are good right now. They were good enough to win. The main thing is development and playing cleaner. Because all of the botch plays, all of the little things that didn't happen, and I want to be fair, the 49ers got guys off the street, especially on defense. And you can't run a game plan if you don't if you're there for a couple of weeks. All right, so this offseason is going to be spent developing the players we have, being wise with money. I think we do need another. If you're going to have this rookie quarterback, you need to address the line, the offensive line. You're going to make a choice: McGlinchey or Compton. McGlinchey was out for the year, and the 49ers actually improved. And I don't think Compton's the best pass rush blocker, but he was an improvement. You got to think about how that money is spent, and you got to address the return game. You just can't go out there if you're going to be a bulk. Whether it's Trey Lance, and Trey Lance is the 49ers got to run the same thing. They're going to have more big play ability. 49ers want to run, but you need to steal yards in the kick return game. A hard-nosed, smash-mouth team needs a decent return game, and the 49ers just don't have it, and they should address that. That was a major issue, and it caught up to them because they put Debo back there in the biggest game of the year. You already got a guy playing running back and receiver and kick return. When he got hurt, what do you think was going to happen? We'll see. We'll see, but the 49ers are going to have a lot more money. But they should use it wisely. They need solid guys. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily, even though they need a number one corner, they don't necessarily need to, if they can't get that, anything short of a number one corner, we don't need no B-plus corner. You might as well stick with the guys you got and develop younger players. That's the last thing you need is an overpriced corner. It brings a whole team down. If you can't get that, you can. It's like the art of war. You don't put resources in battles you're losing. Put resources in battles you're winning. Make the defensive line more dominant. Get someone else to help Nick Bosa, and that definitely will improve the secondary. But they do need. I mean, the Niners drafted Talanoa Hufanga for a reason. They need a guy, a ball magnet, who's going to make some plays out there, who's going to pick the ball off. They need one somewhere out there. I like them to have Tart back. I think Tart's a good player. But when you got a stacked talent on the defensive line, add to it. Add another pass rusher. We need a guy who was going to do what Deed Ford was going to do, and we can make a change. So last thing I want to talk about, and the prospects look good. You know, I'm the first person to say I just want to put a cap on the 2021 season, 2022 season for the 49ers. Every chance you got to take it and make it right. Who knows what's going to happen next year? Nick Bosa was out there, another guy who had a funny helmet because he had the concussion, right? You don't know who's going to come back. But if you're not going to go out, if you're not going to win it, leave it all in the field. And I think they did. Guys went out there hurt. They gave it their best shot. But ultimately, it's just the talent. As far as Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't there, and for the secondary, it just wasn't there. And in a passing league, with the quarterbacks that are the way they are, you need one of those top guys at quarterback, and you need defensive backs that make plays so you can turn that ball over and get it back. And you need guys to rush the quarterback, right? So the 49ers, they have a lot of money. They're probably going to go through some growing pains. But I feel confident that the 49ers can still do, you know, they don't score that many points a game. I think the 49ers could run a similar offense, keep the same running game plan. Trey, don't bring all this read up. Just run the West Coast offense. Don't be messing around. Forget all these gimmicks. It's rare you get a quarterback who can go under center. Trey can do that. Run the West Coast offense. Don't be messing it up. Just he was on the bench all year. If you can't come under center and run the offense like a quarterback, like a grown man, not this college read option, you probably did make the wrong move, but I don't think they did. Of course, add it once in a while, but still. You know what I mean? But I have a question. Where does with Jimmy being gone, where does Jimmy Garoppolo rank in the pantheon of all-time 49er quarterbacks? Think about these guys. Montana, Young, no. He's not there. We had some good guys. You have Jeff Garcia, Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick. We had some total scrubs, too. So I think this, because of the way I feel and the way the team feels, I think he's a top 5 in my lifetime. Starting out watching Joe Montana, I think Jimmy Garoppolo's a top 5. Not top. Montana, Young, way up there, Jimmy. He was pretty good. I think Jeff Garcia put up some really great numbers. But did he lead the Niners to a Super Bowl? Nope. Alex Smith, I think he's better than Alex Smith. Why was I doing my math? Montana, Young. They'll put these other guys here. Kaepernick, Smith, Garcia, and Garoppolo. Of the remaining 4, Garcia put up some really great numbers. But I think you put him over Alex Smith, who's a really good guy. Just because he could do more. I think it's between. Well, I'll put just for the sake of this argument. I'll say. I don't want to go too deep into Smith and Garcia. I'll put them as a tie. I think it's between, for number 3, who's going to get the bronze medal? It's Kaepernick and Jimmy. Both got the conference championships. Both brought the, both Both didn't quite get it done. Jimmy kind of got here and brought the team back. The 49ers were kind of on the rise when Kaepernick came. But I got to say this, Kaepernick would never have thrown that interception. Like, Kaepernick just didn't make those. Kaepernick was limited. He couldn't throw a touch pass to Crabtree, 3 times in a row in the Super Bowl. Right? And a lot of people say he went downhill, Harbaugh's last year when the 49ers went 8-8. But you know what? He was really injured that year. After that year, it took him a while to rehab. Then he had the whole thing, skinny cap, and I don't want to go into that. He played hurt. Got no credit. Okay, I think obviously he's the whole thing, but I think if you're gonna go between Cap and Jimmy, and Jimmy was good for us. I think Cap just had more big play ability with his arm, his legs. Jimmy was better on third down. There was a lot of so many easy third downs where Cap just missed. And Jimmy has a lot of guts on third down. Jimmy will get in there and take a shot, and and he was hurt for that. He's hurt. He's been hurt. That's only the time Jimmy takes chances or on third down. But boy, Kaepernick would not make the mistake. So I think, in my opinion, based on team victories, the city believing in you, I think Jimmy Garoppolo, I've been watching it since Montana, way behind Montana and Young, and this goes for Cap too. I think Kaepernick will be 3, Jimmy Garoppolo 4, then Alex Smith and Jeff Garcia somewhere 5. And with the history of the 49ers, who, the 49ers are just a franchise. They need a top quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo was pretty good. Better than Alex Smith, and I'll take him over Garcia, who is probably underrated. And that's it, Jimmy. Let's see what the 49ers do, though. They have some needs. We're going to find out what John Lynch is about. I think the 49ers are in a great position, even without draft picks, because you know what you need. You know you need a corner. You don't want to draft a bust number 1 draft pick at corner. There's so much pressure on that position. I think it's the most pressure position, obviously aside from quarterback. But if you spend the money, spend it wisely. They need a kick returner, experienced kick returner who still got it. You just don't have a defensive team without some help on special teams. You can't rely on Debo for all that thing. Okay? Get yourself a corner. If the 49ers don't believe that they have a real threat as far as pass rusher, like a premium pass rushing threat, and maybe they can do this in the draft. Maybe in the 3rd round with their 3rd round pick, or the first pick of the draft, they can get a young player who maybe can't stop the run, but we need an ultimate threat to go on the other side of Bosa to get our butts off the field on 3rd down, because they could just. He gets beat by the defensive coordinators. You can, not necessarily by the talent. Okay, Nick Bosa, he had a heck of a play. He was hurt. Came out there. Who knows if he's the concussion protocol? It's tricky. But you need another guy. When the defensive coordinator says anybody but Nick Bosa, all right. I would address the cornerback situation with free agency. We need solid NFL defensive backs, and if we got to get them cheap, that's fine. If we are stuck with, I'm okay with bringing Tart back for the right price. If we have Jimmy Ward and Tart up the middle, that's cool. Not the safeties, and we have Ambry Thomas. Emmanuel Mosley, and K1 at the nickel, that's pretty good. It's not playmaking. Maybe Hafunga develops. That's okay. They can do it if Ambry Thomas gets a little better, and I think he should. And Diamondor Lenore, the kid from Oregon, they can develop what they got, but they got to get it. One more guy who's for sure in NFL. You cannot be in today's NFL getting guys off the street and expect them to guard NFL receivers. Okay, like I said, you can't. You got to add to the pass rush if you're going to go that route. All right. 49ers need to address offensive line. And not necessarily a starter, but they need to develop another player. And they can draft for talent. And they can just give me an experienced kick returner. And you're good. I think I'm going to take some time off. Watch the Super Bowl. I'll be back by WrestleMania. The Niners were the story, though. I didn't go over Royal Rumble. I'm gonna watch it this weekend. But I'll be back with some wrestling with some Warriors. After a couple weeks, I'm gonna take a couple weeks off if I can. I don't know. I might be addicted to Gary Lamm Main Event Mania. And if anything breaks, I'll do a special show. But I'll definitely be back before WrestleMania. Gotta address wrestling and Warriors. But until then, happy Valentine's Day. Stay loved. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. This is Gary Lamm with Gary Lamm Main Event Mania. Keep it real. Keep it clean. God bless you guys.